Welcome again. In this video, we look at the factors affecting your value model. So value changes over time and is affected by a lot of factors. And these factors could be different. It could be demographic changes, awareness of recycling, technology change, urbanization, social language, privacy data, megatrends, perceptions. So what we have done here to demonstrate how value is affected is we have given a color to each one of these. And we are going to use a context which helps you understand how value changes. So let's look at what happens. So imagine you have an existing glass of water and it is your existing model. Now, because of say demographic change, it could have an effect on your existing model and the color of this model changes to a future VBE model. So what are the demographic changes going to happen? Awareness of recycling, technology change, urbanization. You need to map out the factors which are going to affect your business. And that gives you a view of your future VBE. So how should you play your VBE to be ready for the future? And digital or ease of use is definitely a big factor in many industries. But there could be others like privacy and data, or it could be mega trends, or it could be how concepts are communicated, which could actually affect your future VBE. So there are many things which affect it. And while all these factors may not affect your business, there could be some other factors which affect your business. So you need to go through a discovery phase of trying to make sense of what is going to affect your value over time. So what factors are going to affect your value is the discovery phase of a VBE model. Now let's look at some examples. So in case of the renewable and recycling and sharing economy, your mining, utility and steel industry could go under, or its VBE model could go down as the renewables market or the VBE model goes up. Or your food industry, it perhaps doesn't change. Or your housing industry, perhaps everyone requires a house. And you have all these VBE model changes or value changes over time, which are shown here. Now, let's take an example of GE, particularly on gas turbine. And you see this whole line there, and it went down because they didn't keep their eye on the ball that because of this renewable energy, their demand for gas turbines was going to change. Or Nokia, for example, which was a phone without an ecosystem, it went down because of a model with phone with an ecosystem. So companies like General Electric or GE Digital or IBM Watson, they have no VBE models. And that places them at a disadvantage to companies or their competitors who will think through their VBE models. Now we go from a generic VBE model of all factors to something which is specific for your industry. So in that study, you need to identify values or factors which are going to affect your VBE model to a specific VBE model. Now let's look at the difference, what happened to companies which really understood this game. You had Apple in 1998 with a cell alone model. We make the best hardware, we make the best software, take it from us. Whereas Microsoft had a very ecosystem VBE specific model, which was we make software best and there are other hardware makers who make hardware best and that's the best. And there was also incentive for the hardware makers to push for Microsoft software. Whereas in Apple, no one really gained. The ecosystem didn't gain, with the result that Apple had just 2% market share versus Nokia's 98. Now this all changed in 2002 when Apple computers changed from cell alone to an ecosystem view. You had Toyota which is ahead in the game, and it shifted from petrol cars to going with the Prius when it was in a nascent stage. So their petrol car model was going down, so they shifted over to the model. Or you have Tesla, which came at a later stage in the electric car and really innovated on the VB model. Now, electric cars would require charging stations, charging time, charging points, sharing, solar energy, utility companies, shopping malls, and all these would affect their VB model. So perhaps in the future, a company which either Toyota, Tesla, or some other competitor which thinks through the VB model can be the leader in the next round. It could be Tesla, it could be Toyota, or a new company which looks at all these factors. And similar is the case with AI and IoT, which are in need of a VBE model. So the formula for VBE models is 2 plus 2 is 5. You need to think through all factors and then think through what is the best suitable factor. So summing it up, you are standing here today with your VBE, understand your today's VBE model, analyze your future VBE model with possibilities and the possible factors affecting the VBE. And based on this, you design tomorrow's VBE. And you can view it either as an opportunity or a risk. And finally, be humble, think different. That is the mantra Apple followed in 1999 when they were at their lowest point and they came up a very different company after 1999. So in the next video, we look at business models and how do you deliver value. Please post your comments to this video below and let us have your thoughts on how you see your company with their VB models. Thank you for listening.